Okay, so the title is a bit clickbait. Nothing gets views a lot like shit-talking other people after all. I just wanted to preface this by saying that the tropes mentioned in this video aren't necessarily bad in a moral or content point of view. Just some of the tropes that I've discovered underperform compared to everyone. Actually, you know what? Nah, that's also kinda clickbait. Some of the tropes here are also things that I think are bad, so it's a bit of a half and half. After all, in an industry as developing as VTubing, there will always be new tropes and niches that are going to be discovered. Some of them are niches that I don't think should have ever existed at all, and some of them, despite being harmless, have their own place, but don't have much commercial or mainstream appeal, especially when they're utilized in small agencies or if the VTuber doing that trope aren't given a massive enough platform. This video is just going to be talking about some of that. This video is about the worst VTuber tropes. Part 1. Probably. And one of the more infamous ones are those that never become VTubers at all. They just stay over on Twitter and mold and complain and morally grandstand over more successful VTubers and generally be a prick to everyone that doesn't fit in with their political ideologies and beliefs. You know how VTubers are really mostly supposed to just be a politics-free space? A community where people just don't want any trouble and just wants to enjoy hot anime men and cute anime girls doing cute and hot anime things? I mean, yeah, a bit of politics are incorporated in there. After all, politics is in some shape or form present in everything. The fact that VTubers are gay and lesbians are in of itself political, as an example. But in this industry, nobody wants trouble that is coded in politics. People don't want tourists spurging about how lollies equal to pedophilia, or that Trump is bad or Biden is bad, Hogwarts Legacy players are transphobic, and that everybody that plays it deserves to be harassed and other stuff. Those are the kinds of political stuff VTubers and their fans want to stay away from. Extremism going far out in either side of the political spectrum, and condescendingly lectured people about what they should think, how they should feel, and what they should do. Nobody kind of wants or expects the anime cat girl in Japan ironically weighing in on the American oopsies in the Middle East or spurging about how much she hates the Chinese Communist Party or something. Although that would be really funny. But unfortunately, when any industry or community gets big, it's inevitable that all kinds of people will also be joining too, both the supportive and disruptive types. One of these people are the debut TBA VTweeters who just likes to LARP and virtue signal. VTubers, quote-unquote, who have no intention of ever debuting or making content, and making up any and all excuses for not doing so. They just have OCs they want to roleplay as on Twitter or something. They think VTubing is just someone doing whatever the fuck they want as long as they have an avatar. But newsflash, bucko, that is not VTubing. VTubing, from the word itself, is a virtual YouTuber, and while that definition has stretched enough to a point that it now includes general streamers and content creators, what has not changed is the fact that they have to be actual content creators. Literally, that's the bare minimum. Now, if you're a VTuber that is only currently tweeting and making posts in hopes of gathering an audience there and getting them to migrate on your channel, or you're still gathering resources to actually become a content creator, then this does not apply to you. Especially if you're just trying to have fun and is not trying to shove your fucking beliefs down other people's throats. After all, the YouTube and Twitch grind pretty much makes it so that you need an established presence somewhere to start. And I am well aware that not everyone has the resources to actually start immediately. Although VTube Studio in a medium-level Android phone does well enough to start VTubing, I'm just telling you man, you don't need the latest fucking iPhone or premium paid subscription services for Live 2D or whatever to become a VTuber. Again, this definition really only falls to those who has no intention of actually making content, or are just LARPing and virtue signaling over on Twitter. Nah, actually it includes even those that do make content but would also just send off a shit ton of tweets about political issues. VXer is the term for it now, I guess. Whatever. The comfy. Okay, now this is a trope that I actually don't dislike. It's more of a trope that I noticed doesn't really work well unless you're in a very big agency or is already super popular, or have some kind of unique character or personality trait. So, the appeal of the comfy is that they're supposed to make you feel comfortable. The break you need from a rough day of work, or the kind of stop you can go to after experiencing the chaos of other VTubers. But the thing about this trope is that unlike comedians or shitposters or whatever tropes that are very common and popular out there, this is a trope that's very top-heavy, where most audiences are already focused on those that are popular or was given a bigger platform. What I mean by that is when people find a comfy VTuber that they like, they really only stick to that 1 or 3 comfy VTubers. And that 1 or 3 comfy VTubers becomes their comfort zones. And when you think about it, who actively gets out of their comfort zones in this industry? Those other tropes are clippable, and their funny haha moments get a lot of traction and build recognizability in their name. They're also the kinds of tropes people won't mind being a fan of multiple VTubers of, but the comfy doesn't really get to have that unless they frequently break out of character or have some kind of unique trait. They're not exactly clippable, and very few people actively seek out VTubers under this trope. This is a VTuber trope that I've discovered is rarely ever commercially viable if you're in a small corpo or an indie. It's why you'd always notice that the comfy VTubers are usually always the ones that perform relatively poorer compared to everyone in a group setting, usually being the second least or the least performing member, and especially more so if they're the say-so comfy type. Again, it's not that I dislike this trope. I actually like it, in fact. It's just that unfortunately, the conditions needed for this trope to work as well as every other trope is a bit difficult to attain. And the last trope we're going to talk about today is somewhat the opposite of that, the coomerbaiter. Okay, so I understand that a lot of VTubers partake in a bit of fan service to please and have fun with their fans. Some even to further extents, and fan service is good. A bit of sexual innuendos and good moderate bits of horniness and harlotry is a good tool a VTuber can use, especially as a marketing strat for certain kinds of content and just generally to have fun. I respect VTubers who are genuinely able to pull off those kinds of things really well without it coming across as forced or in bad taste or sour. But those aren't what a coomerbaiter is. The coomerbaiter, from the name itself, is a VTuber that mainly caters to absolute coomers. Someone whose content is mainly just to get you to jack off or get aroused with the least possible effort. Basically the VTuber equivalent of an OnlyFans or Twitch ethot who primarily does titty and bathtub streams. I don't know who still uses the word thought, but I don't know any other words to describe it. On one hand, I do respect the hustle, like, yeah, queen, go get that bag with the least amount of effort possible. But on the other hand, it's a content I personally don't respect. A lot of people get the impression that I am a coomer myself, because I make unhinged rants about how suicide is literally sex incarnate, or that Delutaya is the CEO of sex or something, but I'm mainly just memeing around like everyone fucking else. I do appreciate lewds, just that I want those lewds to be served exquisitely, like, you know, there's class and quality put in there. Not that I have anything personally against coomerbait though. It's not like they're the type of VTubers or the type of content that I want to make disappear, just that it's a repulsive cup of tea for me. I am aware that there is an audience for that. Coomers are a very lucrative demographic after all. Wealthy, lonely coomers even more so, and honestly, who am I to judge people who is seeing that and taking advantage of it? In any case, comment down below if you have VTuber tropes you're personally not a fan of, and proceed to make an entire essay about why you absolutely hate it so I can steal it in the next installment. I plan to make more of this kind of video in the future, so if you do like it, leave a like and, again, comment and subscribe. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya.